Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you some context for what you're about to see. This is video from September 2022 of Eli Shukron, the archaeologist who excavated much of the city of David on his new discovery, relatively new, called Temple Zero. Temple Zero? What's Temple Zero? What's Temple 1? Solomon's Temple. Temple 2, Zerubbabel's temple, which was renovated by Herod up on the Temple Mount. What would be Temple Zero? Eli Shukron believes that he has discovered a temple that predated Temple 1, that goes all the way back to the time of Abraham, back to the time of Melchizedek in the city of David. Now, what's the city of David? The city of David was Jerusalem in David's day. Jerusalem in David's day is about a 12-acre piece of land that juts off the southern end of the Temple Mount Old City Wall. When you go to Israel, you'll go to the city of David, and Eli has excavated much of that city. He also discovered the Pool of Siloam. He also discovered the Pilgrim's Way and the drainage channel that connected the Pool of Siloam to the Temple Mount. You'll see a video on that as well here on the Cross-Examined YouTube channel. In any event, this Temple Zero, you're going to see Eli explain in this video, and it talks about, or he talks about, how this could be the Temple of Melchizedek. He's dating this back to, say, somewhere between, say, 1800 BC in that area. So this is even 800 years prior to David. This is when Abraham was there, who sacrificed to Melchizedek. And you can read about this in Genesis 14. And you'll hear more about this discovery, I think, in the coming years. He began to discover this in about 2009 and then uncovered more of it in the ensuing years. And now other archaeologists are even uncovering more in that area. This is a fascinating discovery. So take a look at Eli Shukron right here, right now.
So this is the limestone. This is the foundation rock from Temple Zero. Wow. It's very heavy. I'm going to put it there. I just want to show you what it's look like when you go inside, okay? Inside to the rock. Okay, here we are. We are all here. And it's very, very interesting what's happening here, because I want to tell you how we get here. Because no one, let's say in the 1911, 9, there was a British archaeologist was doing some tunnel. You're going to find you want to find the treasure. What is the treasure of the temple? The Holy Ark of the Covenant. So he want to find the Holy Ark of the Covenant. He came to the city of David. Of course, there was money in the stock market in London. He said, who want to be part of that? A lot of people paying the money about, like, exit. And then he said, I don't want all the money of all of you. I want just few, because I'm going to found it. So I want to be more to me, more than that's where they're holding in my hand, not for you. So he gets some money and started to do the excavation, the underground tunnels. He came from here, and you're going that way. Then he built a tunnel that way. Then he built a tunnel that way.
Because this was all covered in rock?
This covered dirt. Dirt and stone and whatever.
Okay.
And then what's happened, we came from the Gion Spring, and we started to walk all the way up, and then we did the tunnel that way. And then
you did? Okay.
We did.
Okay, yeah.
And then Philip is an archaeologist. Now he's in charge. Now he's in charge. Just a moment. Now I'm in charge of all that excavation here. So it's mean I was
following his footsteps.
So is continue my excavation here in this area, and he found very, very interesting and important finding here. So I am happy for him, and I am bless him that I bless him to continue and finding more important findings. Give him a hand.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Philip, תודה רבה. Bye bye.
Enjoy your stay.
Okay, so we start to walk from that way. All this was mountain, hills. So how are we doing the excavation? So we start to walk underground. You see the steel that we have here. This from my excavation. And what we did, we work from first, because it's dirt, first what we need to do, a roof. That not everyone will fall on us and cover us, okay? So what we did, we built the roof. So each roof, it's 3 feet. Why 3 feet? Because our end is 3 feet. So if you dug the dirt that way, and you go on the inside and you can take the dirt out, and then what you're doing, you put the steel, the roof, and then you have a space like that between, because it's your head and your pig, what's it called? Pig, okay? And shovel, and you take the dirt, and then you walking in that size, and then you build the roof, and then you build the steel construction on top of it, going that way. And after that, you are starting to work and doing 3 feet going down, because we need to put the pillar. Yes. If not, everything was falling. And then we go 3 feet on 3 feet on 3 feet on 3 feet on 3 feet and 3 feet, slowly, and protect ourselves. And then we have the big picture.
How long did it take you to build?
It's like a year. So what's happening, we started from there, and we get to this room. And all that job, it's my brother's job. Not this one, this one. You see the welding very well. You see, even yeah, it's the best. Even here, if you look here, you can see how the make it is perfect. Okay, perfect way. Okay, if you know how to welding, it's very, very hard to do it. You know, to put two together, still together, it's very, very hard. So what's happening? We came here and we start to, because we came from there. So first we found this room. So what do we have in this room? Where you are standing?
Toilet.
Okay, this is very interesting what you're saying, but you don't need to look just, again, you need to look on all the room, all this space. What you have in this space?
Bedroom.
No. What you have on the wall?
Little places to put
Don't explain. What we have in hall.
A hole.
Okay. No, it's okay. What we have on the wall, we have a hole. What we have in the floor, hole. And what we have here, a square, a little bit deeper than all that kind of things. Okay? So what is useful? Okay? This is the question. And if you are very know an archaeologist, you know that this is olive press.
What?
And here
Olive press.
we're making olive oil. So are you making olive oil? Smashing the olive, putting in the sack. You put the sack on the pit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. And in the hole, you're putting a branch of wood on the top of the sack all over here. Okay, all over here. Sack, branch of wood on top of the sack. Here you have a weight made by stone. And then you roped it. And then the branch of wood started to going down. When it started to going down, what is going down? Also the sack. What's happening in the pit? Small hole here, you have a lot of liquid that came from the olive. As you know, and you've been in the olive factory, not when you get a liquid from the olive, it's not 100% olive oil. There's what we call the black water, and there's between 15 and 20% olive oil. The olive oil is jumping, and then you collect it. So how much olive oil you can make here? Not a lot. Why? Because there's a reason why you're making here olive oil.
Can't keep it fresh. You have to keep it running.
No, another reason. You're wrongly, sorry. No. There's another reason, and we can read that reason in the Bible, okay? And then you do the connection. Okay, in this room, we found a lot of jar broken on the floor, and this is storage room. Sorry, storage room, yes, please.
You left me stuck on what the oil is used for. Is it for
No,
the
no,
temple?
no,
For
just
the
a moment,
menorah?
just a moment. Paciencia.
Paciencia.
Yeah. I'm just showing you the places, and then we do the connection. I want you to understand what we have here. Okay. Also, what we have in this room, you can see from here, you can see stairs. It's mean you coming to this room, and in this room, you can see this is a little bit higher. It's not the steps like we used to walk through. On the corner we have some platform that cutting in the rock.
Yes.
And what I'm saying, this is the place where they build the altar. And when they sacrifice animal, all the juice from the altar coming, and then you collect it here. Okay, so we're talking about the altar building here. And we know that everyone can build an altar everywhere and can worship in God. Sacrifice animal, you know, Abraham did it, Jacob, Joshua, they're building an altar all over. Okay? But what we need more than just altar. But to make it a temple, to make it something that we can come and worshiping God in this place. We need to have a connection with God. We need the Spirit of God. We need a connection with God. Without connection with God, we cannot build a temple. We can build a worshiping place. We can sacrifice animal, but not more than that. So what we have here, olive place. We have here place where they sacrifice the animal. And you know that you not sacrifice all the animal on the altar. You take part of the animal. And then you put it on the altar, because part going to the priest, part going to the people that bring the altar, the animal to the altar. You know the story in Shiloh. Hophni and Pinhas took the best part from the animal, and the people complaining, this is not for you, this for me, and all that kind of things. It means that you're not putting all the cow on the altar, not all the baby goats and baby sheep on the altar. It's part of it, what you need to put on the altar. Okay, so we have here altar. Let's go to this room. What we have in this room? Vanessa, what we seen inside?
Glass door.
What is the material? It's stone. It's rock. Someone take a flat rock and set it up as a pillar. And what is the meaning of the pillar, okay? And for that, we need to go to the book of Genesis. Okay? Genesis 28, verse 10 to verse 22. I want
Lee, where are you?
I'm here.
You're the biblical
Okay.
reader.
you to read it for us.
Genesis 28.
28,
No.
10 to 22?
Yes. And then from that we will start more
28, 10.
understand where we are, okay?
Okay.
Okay, from
Then-
10, from 10.
From 10.
Okay,
Then Jacob
continue.
departed from Beersheba and went toward Haran. He came to a certain place and spent the night there, because the sun had set, and he took one of the stones of the place and put it under his head and lay down in that place. He had a dream, and behold, a ladder was set on the earth, and its top reaching to heaven, and behold, the angels of God were ascending and descending on it.
Continue.
And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie, I will give it to you and to your descendants. Your descendants will also be like the dust of the earth, and you will spread out to the west and to the east and to the north and to the south. And in you and in your descendants shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Behold, I am with you and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land. For I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you.
Continue.
Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it. He was afraid and said, How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. So Jacob rose early in the morning and took the stone that he had put under his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on its top.
Okay, continue.
He called the name of that place Bethel. However, previously the name of the city had been Luz. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, If God will be with me and will keep me on this journey that I take, and will give me food to eat and garments to wear, and I return my head to my father's house in safety, then the Lord will be my God. This stone, which I have set up as a pillar, will be God's house, and of all that you give me, I will surely give a tenth to you.
This is fantastic. And what we have that verses from the Jacob story, because when talking about who was the king of Jerusalem in that time, Melchizedek. Melchizedek, he was the king of Jerusalem, and Melchizedek was also high priest to one God, Kohen Le'el Elyon. Okay, which way Melchizedek is the high priest worshiping God? This is the question, because we are in Jerusalem. So in the Bible we have 4 verses in the book of Genesis, so we cannot understand from the book of Genesis which way worshiping God. And then we have it in Hebrew, in the book of Psalm, and things like that. What we know, we don't know what he did, which activities he did in Jerusalem, in his temple. Okay, we have Jacob. So when we found that, we found all these places and all this room, and you can see all the room going together. It's not one room here, one room there, one room. It's all once.
Yes.
And I say, okay, there's something very, very interesting here. And then we understand the pillar by the Genesis 28. So what are you doing to the pillar? You anointed the pillar with what?
Olive oil.
And from where the olive oil came from?
Not very far.
Okay. You see?
Temple zero.
You see how everything started to connected? Okay, so you anointed the house of God. But later, you anointed the king. Which king was anointed above the Gihon spring? King Solomon. Okay, you can see how everything started to fix it. And they took the olive oil from the tent. Which tent? The Ark of the Covenant tent. And you remember that we talk about two priests. One Abiathar, one Tzadok. We have here two worshiping places. Temple Zero and the Ark of the Covenant tent. This is Abiathar, who's in charge here. Maybe Tzadok. And Tzadok, the high priest, in charge here, and he anointed Solomon in his place. Because you anointed the king in the house of God. You're not anointing king just on the field. So this is very, very interesting. Also, what I want to tell you, what is the meaning of the pillar? In the verse 22, Lee talking about this pillar that is set up as this stone that is set up as a pillar. This is the house of God. So what is the house of God? Which connected with God we have here? We have here the pillar as a connected with God. And you can see the Bible talking about the pillar, anointed, and all happening here, where we are. And because that I think this is one of the most important findings that I found in the city of David, here where we are, because this is the only place that we can say that we have a connection with God, from here. Okay, see this one. Second, I want to take, then we'll talk about a little bit what we found there. But how I get to this time, how I get to this period. Why are you saying this is from the Middle Bronze period? Why am I saying this is from the time of Melchizedek or from the time of Abraham, from the Middle Bronze period? Why? Because I had a dream.
Maybe.
I cannot have a dream. I'm not sleeping at night. You remember? But I want to tell you that first we found here in this room that connected to the temple. It's part of it. We found the pottery from the Middle Bronze period.
Wow.
Because I found the pottery, I can date it the beginning in Middle Bronze period. Also, what they did on my back, they think that they are clever. There's some, people, I'm not saying names. Some archaeologists thinking that they are clever. Say, oh, let's check Eli if it's saying right or not. But you cannot change the layer when the layer telling you period. Wherever you're checking, it's a sand. So what they did, they took from there some seed and they did carbon-14 dating. And what's happening? Middle Bronze period. Hello? What do you think? So we have now carbon-14, and we have now pottery, and we have now the finding that we found here, and we can say, oh, this is from the Canaanite, from the Middle Bronze period, who cares? But why? Because if we are in the time of Abraham here, plus minus, and we know that was king in Jerusalem, and we know that he believed in God, and are worshiping God, and we know from the book of Genesis 28, this is the way they're worshiping God, why not to say Melchizedek? Why not to connect it to that? So we know that it started in Melchizedek time, because the pottery, because the dating. We know when this era was end. Is end in the 8th century BC. We know what's happening between, because the anointed of King Solomon was here, and the Ark of the Covenant was here in this area. Because they're saying they put him in the city of David. Where? in a worshiping place. And this is the worshiping place area. So again, we have two families in the time of King Solomon. Later, Tzedek family was going and being the priestly family in the temple. But what's happening? We have Abiathar and we have Tzedek. And this is belong to the Holy Ark of the Covenant from the house of Aaron. And we have Tzedek from nowhere. And think about Tzedek. From where the family of Tzedek? Tzedek is justice. And we have Melchizedek is the king of the justice. And then we have Adoni-Tzedek. And then we have the family of Tzedek, Tzadok, you know. This is just suggesting, we don't know. I wasn't here. But you can see some family that started from the Canaanite time and moving all the way inside to the time of King David. And from the other hand, when King David took the city of the Jebusites, he didn't kill the people. He didn't destroy the city. He changed the name of Stronghold of Zion to the city of David. And he bought the property for the temple from the king of the Jebusites, Avna. He paid him money. You can kick him out. But he paid him money. It means these people were still living in Jerusalem. And we know that King David had different kind of soldiers, different kind of people that was around him. Just talking about Uriah. What was Uriah? Hittite, okay? And the other, we can see, if you're reading the book of Samuel, the 2nd Samuel, about David and his story about David, well, all these heroes around him, wasn't all of them from the tribe of Judah or from the Israeli? A lot of them was also from other places. From other from other people, from other places. So it can be Hittite, can be Moabite, can be here, can be there. So he had a connection with these people. So when we're talking about this place, he didn't destroy it. Why to destroy it? Till the Holy Ark of the Covenant came to the city of David, where David was worshiping God, where David had a connection with God. Every time he's going to Givat Yarim, all the way far away from here. So you have some place. Because he had the option to bring the Holy Ark of the Covenant immediately when he came to Jerusalem. Why didn't do it? Because we already have here a connection with God. Okay, then later he brought it into the city of David. So then everything started to make more understanding. Okay? All the questions that we ask, where was the Holy Ark of the Covenant? We know in this area. Why didn't David bring the Holy Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem immediately? Because they have a place. Sacrifice animal, worshiping here. Okay? Where King Solomon anointed. We have a place. Okay? Why we are hearing about two priestly family in Jerusalem? Now we understand that. Because we have two worshiping places, the Holy Ark of the Covenant and the temple that was built in the Canaanite time.
Eli, tell them why. Tell them why you think this was filled in around Hezekiah's time.
Okay, so what we're talking about, this area was filled in the Hezekiah time because it was a wall here, and we found a lot of pottery that inside here in this place. Okay, also what we found there, if you're looking there in that room, there's a small cave. There's a small cave, I'm right, and that small cave was closed with a wall. Inside in that cave, we found a lot of pottery, a lot of jar and juglet and cooking pot. Why? Because what they did, they cleaned all the rooms and they put everything inside in the closet. Why they did it that way? To protect the holy jar and holy, because this was part of the temple. I'm not throw it to the trash. I'm keep it, I'm protected. So there's a place when you put a tripod there to skin the animal, all that kind of things. And because that, a lot of questions that we have about the Holy Ark of the Covenant, about the family, priestly family, about other things, more make sense when we are here. When we found that, the questions start to be more clear. Even we asking questions, we understand where we are. And this is the important. And for example, when I did the excavation, I didn't thought that I'm going to find what I found. I just did the excavation. And it was found, and then we start to understand what we found. I'm going to show you some picture All the pictures that I'm showing you, no problem. You can later take that kind of notebook and whatever, and you can just take a photo of that. No problem for me. Okay. So if you have this notebook later in the bus, whatever you want to take more picture from that, take more picture from that. This is what it looks like. Okay. Seen that? Okay, then you can take a photo of that, no problem, okay? So you can see the olive press, you can see the altar, you can see the Holy of the Holy, it's mean the pillar.
Ellie, are those little holes in the wall?
Yeah, look, yeah, I know there's here and there's another side. I cannot give you, let's say I cannot, there's there, I found that, but I don't know what they are doing. They're using for something, I don't know for what. And it's very interesting, this kind of all, because we have it also in the other side. If you look,
the marking then that's on the floor here.
yeah, this is the marking.
Yeah, what's that?
This is for the wooden tripod to hang the animal, because before the easy way to skin the animal is to hang the animal. I am right, my cowboy? Yes.
Sure.
So Ellie,
Why you use goats, because they're small.
they filled
it's-
it in at a Hezekiah's time because he didn't want 2 worship sites.
No. Okay. Up, 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 up. Oh, sorry. Give me this. I want to show you more picture, and then we talk about Hezekiah. I want to show you the finding that we found from the time of Hezekiah, and then you can explain about. Here we can see the cave, the opening to the cave, closing by the wall. There's a wall. Someone took that pottery, wherever you're going, all the pottery in the rooms, and put it in the cave, and put a wall on that, close it. Why need it? If it's just nothing.
Capsule.
Why? Because it's important, because it's something holy, something that using that in the temple for worshiping. I'm not through to the trash. And what we found in this cave, we found this pottery. This 2,800 years ago. Okay, you seen that? Excuse me, sir? Excuse me?
I'm sorry.
Oh, you seen that? This is from the 8th century BC that we found here. Okay? You can see it here.
Wow, it's in good shape, huh?
Yeah. This is the pottery. And if there's a cooking pot, there's a jar, there's different kind, there's some with inscription. And when we're talking about the time of Abraham, you can see this is the pottery that we found from the time of Abraham. So we are not just saying this is the time. No, we found the pottery, we found findings that go back to the time of Abraham. And because that, we are doing that connection. Okay? We need to be in the time, in the period. We are not talking, we're not just saying, okay? Also what we found here, and tomorrow we're going to Bethlehem, also we found here a bulla with the name of Bethlehem. The first time from the first temple period, this is what it looked like. Bethlehem. The bulla of Bethlehem from the first temple period, the house of the bread. So where Boaz met Naomi, where Boaz met Ruth, where you met him? In the field. Which field? Which field? Wheat field, no? Wheat field. So this is the Bethlehem, there's the house of bread. This is where they're making a bread. Wheat, raising, making a bread. And, okay, this is from the first time. Also, we found that here in this area.
The grain?
You know, the inscription. It's very, very important. So any question, ladies and gentlemen? Yes.
This might be off track a little bit, but
Yes.
when we read in the Bible about Melchizedek, that has no genealogy about him.
That was my question.
So tell
Look,
me your take. I have a take
Look,
on it, but tell me your take on it.
what do you, yes, my assistant.
Melchizedek, the high priest,
Yeah, come here. Don't be on the roof. You're not Zacchaeus. Come here.
Well, could be.
You're good? You're good? You're good?
I'm excellent. Melchizedek,
Yes,
a
sir.
high priest. My
Yes.
question is there many Melchizedeks like many rabbis? Or is there one?
No,
One
one
Melchizedek?
Melchizedek.
There's just one Melchizedek.
Okay. That was
Okay, there's not a lot of Melchizedek.
okay.
And of course, we don't know where he came from.
No genealogy.
We know that he's Canaanite because we're talking about the time of the Canaanite here. We know Abraham came from Iraq, from Hur, and he's just moving all over to this land. Some people saying that Melchizedek is Shem. Some people say that, even from the Jewish way. Shem. Some say, I don't know, I'm not so going deeply in that kind of Melchizedek history. Maybe I need to start to work on Melchizedek to understand Melchizedek. But some say that it's going back to Shem. We know that he was a Canaanite. What is his roots? We don't know. But he's not from the roots of Abraham.
So why do you think they would say he has no genealogy?
Who said that?
The Bible says
No,
it.
the Bible didn't say that.
What does it say?
Well, no, the Bible talking about Melchizedek. Just a moment. The Bible, she's from Texas, and she's a lady.
Ladies.
Okay. Look, what the Bible is saying.
Yeah, tell me the Hebrew translation.
What the Bible is saying. Let's go to the book of Genesis.
Genesis
Chapter 14.
14.
Okay, come please. 14, I think, I can from verse 15 or 16, something like that, okay? 14, where you are?
He divided his forces against them by night. He just
Yeah,
needed hope.
okay. Verse 15 or 16. What do we verse 15 start? From here, what is talking here?
Then after return from the defeat of Chedorlaomer.
Okay.
Oh, there it is, Melchizedek.
Okay.
Then after his return from the defeat of, how do you say that?
Kadel Omer,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And the
matter.
kings who were with him, the king of Sodom went out to meet him at the valley of Shavah, that is the king's valley. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. Now he was priest of God Most High. He blessed them and said, Blessed be Abram of God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand. He gave him a tenth of all.
That's it. Give him a tenth of all. Why give to Melchizedek a tenth? Just a moment. There's no more.
Yes.
It's
I
mentioned
read
in
it.
Hebrews.
Where?
Give me my Bible. It's in my Bible. I
Where?
want to
Where?
find it.
I just want to tell you.
Where else do
No,
they talk about Melchizedek? Earlier.
No,
In
no,
Hebrews?
no.
No,
Just,
earlier.
just.
George Barrios, ven para acá.
Bueno. Okay, I just want to tell you something. Okay, then we will talk about that later. Okay,
Okay,
we have
okay.
more days in Jerusalem
It was
together.
just a question.
Yeah, just a moment. If you're reading the book of Genesis, and we
Yes.
just read it for us.
That's not the only part
Just-
that talks
just-
about Melchizedek in Genesis. It talks more about him in
Paciencia. Let me. Okay, when we're talking the first time that Melchizedek mentioned in the Bible, in
Okay,
the
that's
book,
what you're saying, okay.
it's in the book of Genesis.
Yes,
Okay, then it mentioned the book of Psalm, and then it mentioned the book of Hebrew. But the book of Hebrew, when the book of Hebrew was written,
after Christ.
after Christ. Okay, further, we're talking about 2,000 years.
Yes.
Okay, from the time of Melchizedek.
Right.
So when
gonna
I
go
want just
home.
so
I'm gonna go home
you
and
go
find
home,
it.
you
I'm
found
gonna
it.
bring it to
When
you
I'm reading the Bible, and when I want to understand the Bible, I'm going to the beginning of the
Yes,
Bible when
yes.
everything started. I'm not going to the other book that tell me about
no. I
the story.
understand.
Okay,
I
so
understand.
when talk about the person of Melchizedek, some say this is from the house of Shem. Some say that Melchizedek is Shem, but we don't have more information about that. When what Lee tell us, this is what's written in the book of Genesis. We good?
Yes.
More questions, ladies and gentlemen.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Melchizedek, king of Salem. Is this the Salem?
Yes, this is
Jerusalem?
Jerusalem, this is Salem.
Right here.
Right here, because that's what I did. I took the story of Jacob and put it on the story of Melchizedek to understand Melchizedek, because we don't have enough information about Melchizedek in the Bible. Okay? Because we found that, we can do it by understanding what Jacob did. And this is fantastic. Okay, more questions, ladies and
Don't forget
gentlemen.
my question about Hezekiah. Come on.
Okay,
I'm
well-
still waiting.
No, what the question?
Why did he fill it in?
No, look, what's happening when King Hezekiah, what King Hezekiah says, and mentioned also the Bible. I don't want you to worshiping anywhere in my kingdom. Everyone that want to worshiping God, going to Mount Moriah, Temple Mount. So what he did, he closing this area. You can see he didn't destroy. He took all the pottery and put it on the cave. He closed it with a wall. He built the pillar. This pillar was covered with the dirt. They didn't destroy it, because with your leg you can break it. What it means? We're talking about that kind of wide of the stone. It's nothing, and it's 2 inches. I don't know how much. 5 centimeters. So what are you talking about? So if you want to destroy it, no problem to destroy it. Why didn't destroy it? Why no one destroyed it? Why they collecting the pottery and put it everything? Because this is the place where they're worshiping God also. Also, what we found here inscription, curse inscription made by stone tablet, talking about the government of the city. Why I'm saying that? This is from the 15th century BC. So we built it in the 17th, 18th century BC. In the 15th century, they use it as a temple. In the 13th century, we found another inscription, they use it as a temple. And in the time of King David, they use it in the temple. And you can see that all the years, from the beginning of this temple, all the years to the time of King Hezekiah, this was activity temple.